Is the 2nd of February.
CRA, Winnipeg, MB. Martin Pariseau, Comox, BC. To my knowledge, there is just one passport for Canadian citizens. I am a Canadian-born citizen whose residence changes a lot. In fact, by the time that you respond to me, if choosing snail mail against my will to do so, I may not even live here anymore. See copy of ID with current address provided. My preference is to belong to one appreciative community that does not discriminate against me for my beliefs as the Ecocentric-Humanist. I have not found such a community in Canada, or in any other country. In the past 5 decades, however, my search continues. I usually do open and review my emails multiple times per day, drhumanix@gmail.com. I do not have my own phone number, and any message, that you may leave for me at any past phone numbers, or physical addresses, will not be legally binding due to my own life's unorthodox nature, and I have already informed you of this multiple times. I am okay with calling a CRA employed person directly, if provided their direct number, or Zoom with them, but please also inform them that they will be recorded for the sake of accountability. 1 in 2020,
And I don't always
generated one paycheck from a school board in late December. I have received social
I don't
assistance
always
as a person labeled, or rather,
tell people or
stigmatized
organizations
with
that
a
have already
disability,
broken my trust that I'm
DWD,
recording them.
during all of
This is my right.
2020. These records are / will be sent to you. Please do my taxes now and send any refunds to my Scotiabank account which you have on file and which has not changed for a few years now. I cannot do my taxes myself as I do not generate the income required in order for me to pay for the expenses requested by this culture's specialists. Also, volunteers that help others to file their taxes for free, or any free software, does not apply to me due to living a life uncommon. Consequently, you often end up adjusting the assessments in ways that I do not agree with later anyway. 2 in 2019, I believe that I may have generated income of the amount of $50 for an online work contract. Please note that all of the income that I have generated in the last few, at least 4, years has never been higher than the expenses for me to generate such income. In essence, I generally make a financial loss by being a good person who was randomly born in Canada. While I am a helper, I also do such things for the sake of philanthropic research. I do not receive any kind of funding for my independent research. BC's Ministry of Social Assistance was also a source of income in 2019. 3. Please, along with 2020 and 2019, also do calculate my taxes and related refunds for 2017. To the best of my knowledge, all other years of taxes have already been filed, although some were altered by you in ways that you do not allow me to challenge without becoming bankrupt in order to do so. So please, do sit down in a room and audit my files with me. For the last 20 years, when it becomes an option to do so, you are way overdue to do this based on multiple letters that I have mailed to you, and this is not my fault. For I have my own 2 businesses which do not exist for profit. They exist instead for the sake of cultural repair. Their national business numbers are 1, 80,073 6,548 BC002, and 2, 80,073 6,548 BC003. I have closed my driving school in Ladysmith, BC, in August 2014. Both of my current sole proprietorships are clearly defined as philanthropic pursuits. I engage in these activities because they express my beliefs and identity. They essentially allow me to be me. I am an independent scientist / advocate, without funding, for the simple fact that this is the right thing to do with my life. 5. I still request, and welcome, a series of in-person audits with one of your investigators at the CRA where I would record our interactions for the sake of transparency. I strongly believe that the CRA, based on its own act, owes me money, and apologies, with interest, and for multiple years now. I believe that continuing to withhold my right to have my file investigated, and involving a third party and / or recordings for me to be in ownership of, is a federal criminal offense. So is my inability to have my account unblocked. With great disappointment.
So living a life uncommon, so being an Homo sapien among the Homo communia infested with, the monetary paradigm, is I am discriminated against even more for being poor. So this blog is directed to the Canada Revenue Agency, and I've also emailed the federal minister yesterday, as well as mailing this from a Canadian post office. So I've mailed letters such as this before, but this is my last attempt to show, stop victimizing me for being me, for not being a greedy person in pursuit of this monopoly game worldview, which is a form of, because it's a worldview, we can even say indoctrination that the Canadian government tries to do of me, not just domestication, because I'm the ecocentric-humanist. I live in the natural world. I live in the real world. I'm a believer in reality. So always trying to be of assistance as a helper, and always having newer and more challenging obstacles put in front of me as I'm trying to be of service to, the nation that has given me a passport, is not okay. So this is my last chance. And if after that, it's the same as before, right? It's either no response or a partial response, then what I'm going to do is just still generate income to pay expenses to be of service to my community, but posting all of my expenses and income online publicly for anybody to see. And I can even label it the name of government agencies such as the CRA or any BC ministries that have or will or may continue to provide funding. And then leave it up to them, their bureaucracy, their own micromanaging mental illness can be the way that they choose to live their lives. But it's not the way that I want to choose to live my life. Because I want to use my human thinking tools to be part of the solution, not part of the problem.